96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, 5 minutes after 11 o'clock. When I was a kid, I have a memory, Robin, of going on a field trip with my class to the Lollipop Farm.
Okay, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Not heard that before.
Oh, you haven't heard that story? Okay, so we went to the Lollipop Farm, and I was so disappointed that lollipops weren't growing out of the ground. I just thought, I don't know, it's called the Lollipop Farm. You know what was growing there, though? Turkeys. They had turkey, and we were kids, so we clapped our hands and the turkeys would gobble, and we just thought, oh, that's a cool trick right there.
Yeah.
Let me push a button here and put a picture on the feed here, the video feed. That is, I think, the cover of the book. Well, maybe not. That looks like the ebook or something. But anyway, it's a Runtamuffin tale by Melissa Taylor. Melissa is runs a farm in South Florida. It's a chicken farm, right? Chicken?
Yes. Chicken.
This is a children's book based on the true life adventures of Melissa Taylor's charming chickens. Oh my gosh, I hope they don't eat them. Good morning, Melissa. How are you?
Good morning. I'm wondering if the Lollipop Farm could make a turkey-flavored lollipop.
Oh, that would be horrible, wouldn't it?
It would be terrible.
So, are you in South Florida right now?
I am. I'm actually in Waxahachie, Florida. Correct.
Okay, and how many chickens do you have?
I have 14 chickens right now. I'm actually a horse farm, and I have chickens on the property.
Oh, a horse farm.
Yes.
Okay, that explains the horses in the illustrations.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, this is a wonderful children's book. Did you write it for your own children?
No, I have no children. My children are all four-legged and full of hair. I have horses and dogs, or feathers, and chickens.
So do you eat the eggs? You don't eat the meat of the chicken, or do you?
No, never eat the meat of the chicken. I could never do it. They all have names. They're all my pets. But I do eat the eggs, definitely. They're amazing eggs.
See, I could do that. I could handle the eggs. Yeah, I don't know that I could eat the chicken either. But, I mean, I could eat the chicken at Chick-fil-A, but I can't, if it was... I mean, these are looking cute. I'm looking at the pictures now. And so tell me about this. How did this all start for you? The book, I mean.
When I started, I'm not an author by trade. I am now an author, but I ride horses professionally and train and compete. And I had one of my favorite chickens last summer, or 2 summers ago, passed away from heat exhaustion. And I was all upset about it. I know I was terribly upset about it. And one of my good friends said, you watch your chickens, you talk about your chickens all the time, you should write a story about them. And I started writing my story about them. I just went from start to finish, putting some information in about, their daily activities and how they met the horses and how they interact with the horses. And one thing led to another, and then I self-published my Runtamuffin tale.
Oh, my gosh. Are you May?
I'm sorry?
Yes,
I'm May.
You're May.
I'm May.
Okay,
I'm May.
So this is a true story then, right?
It is truly a true story. Everything in the book happened. Some things were a little bit embellished, like the dancing in the water. That did happen, but it was not all the chickens. There's only one chicken, and my dogs were in there with me.
and one of the dogs is Louie, is that right? Louie
and Bodo, yes.
Louie and Bodo. Oh, that's right. Yeah, there was more than one dog. Bodo is like full grown. Is Louie a puppy? I think so. Right?
Louie is 3 years old, but he's a Jack Russell Corgi.
Oh, okay.
Well, the love of animals goes back to your childhood.
Yes, definitely. My mom always had animals in the house, from raising baby goats and chickens and ducks and anything, bunnies, whatever she could find or have to save, we had in the house.
So did you, this is horse country. Have you ever been up to our part of Florida?
It's terrible to say. I only drive right by Ocala. I have not been up there yet. I need to come up there. I have good friends in Ocala. It's a beautiful country, and I have not been up there. Every time I think about it, it's during season, and then our season runs from December through April, and it's so busy with horse shows every other weekend.
And your book really has a lot of life lessons in there without really coming out and saying what they are, like anti-bullying and respect.
Exactly. When I wrote it, I didn't think it that way. I wrote from my heart and how I feel I treat people, or how my chickens treated the horses treat the dogs. And I hope that more people would treat or act that way in real life.
Do you know, if I was a chicken, I would treat a horse with respect. But
Heck yeah.
but I know chickens don't really respect frogs. Do you know how I know this?
I'm interested to find out.
I'm wondering if you ever had this experience. Okay, so when I was a kid, we lived in I moved from Long Island to a rural area, and here in Florida, and my next door neighbor had some chickens, and they went on a trip, and they said, "Could you take care of the chickens?" So I said, "Yeah, no problem." So I went over there to feed the chickens, and a frog jumped into the coop. Well, that was the end of that frog.
Yeah, unfortunately, in South Florida, I see lizards that have been pulling in every other direction. I feel terrible. I have to close my eyes and look the other way because I get so upset.
How did you come about Mark to illustrate your book?
Mark is actually one of our clients' boyfriends, and he was always into painting. I just never really thought about it. He's an amazing artist, and Sue was riding around. I was talking to her about the book. She said, "You should have Mark do your drawings for you." And he came over, and I started talking to him. And then all of a sudden, he's like climbing around on the ground of my barn, taking pictures upward. And I'm thinking, "Oh my goodness, what did I hire?" He's like, it was very odd. And then he said, "I'm taking the pictures from the chicken's point of view." So it made so much more. Yeah, it was actually pretty cool to see his process. And it took a little while for us. I kind of said, "Okay, this is what I want," and on this page. And he'd come back with a drawing, and it was like, "Nope, that's not what I'm interested in." And then I think it took about 3 to 4 months within our process. He came back, and I'm like, "Finally, you're in my head." Finally, he had exactly my thought on these pages. And I think that was the most fun also with self-publishing. I picked out the paper's weight and the paper colors, and I chose the colors for each size and how I was going to edge it. And so it was actually a really fun project for me.
Oh my gosh! How long did it take you once you had everything together?
Roughly a year and a half it took me from start to finish.
I bet. This is a nicely done book. Well, it's certainly worth the effort you put into it. How long ago did the book come out?
It came out. I picked it up personally in August, but it just pretty much came out maybe the last 4 months. I started getting it out there. Okay,
I found it on Amazon, but I'm having a hard time finding the hardcover. I think I found the ebook, right? Or no?
Well, you should be able to find both. That Amazon just got set up, and it's still kind of working on. So I'll be able to. I'm going to contact them this afternoon and make sure. But it should be able to get the hard copy and the ebook on Amazon.
Okay.
How do you like when you have all of those animals together and everything? How long does it take you to do the feeding and everything? And do some animals like sneak into the other animals' feed and try to snitch?
100%. My chickens, Fatty and Patty and Sally, they're in Marriott's stall all the time. And as soon as she gets her food, they're sneaking in there and eating as much as they can. Of course, she shares. She's quite the little lady. She's very sweet. I'm lucky enough. I have a lot of working students and girls that work for me. So I would say we feed our horses 5 times a day. So it's probably in about 45 minutes each feeding. The chickens get fed twice a day in the morning, and then I like to bring them watermelon when I come in from my house. But it's a long process, and cleaning the cage once a week, and making sure their water's fresh every other day. So it's a lot of work. Tell me about the word Runtamuffin. There's got to be a story. It was just, she was so teeny tiny, and I was like, oh, she's like a little runt. And then one of my girls said to me, but she's so cute, she's like a little muffin. And we're like, oh, Runtamuffin. So that's how that came about. Oh, my God. So you're going to have more than this book. 100%. I have I've already written 2 more, but I'm waiting. Since it's such a process, since I'm self-publishing, since I'm a new author, since I'm learning so much at this process, I'm waiting till it really starts flying. I'm trying to get into some school districts. I want it to get into. It's going to be into Barnes and Noble now that I'm getting into Ingram. I'm doing. It's called Print on Demand. So I'm doing a bunch of process. Once that starts flying, then I will give my other books to Mark, and we'll start working on the next one. I have 5 more, actually, after this one. Oh, wow. So are you going to the schools or to the libraries and reading them out loud to the children? I have done that twice so far, once in New Jersey, once down here in Florida, but I'm going to start promoting it. Again, I kind of backed off a little in December through April because my main focus is my main job, which is riding and training horses. So in our competition, so I have been a little less free with my time.
Wow.
But again, come mid-April, like April 15th, I'll get on the road and start doing it again, 100%.
Thank you for being on the show with us, Melissa, and good luck with this. It sounds like you have something that's going to keep you busy for years and years and years and give lots of joy to the kids who read these books and to the parents who read them, because that's always the way it is. I love children's books because it bonds children and their parents or their elders, if not parents, right?
Very true, very true. And it makes you spend more time together, and I love that. You know, I used to love when my parents read to me, so I'm, looking forward to more people enjoying that.
And Easter's coming, so make sure they lay extra eggs. We need some.
In different
Perfect.
colors.
I'll start giving them some food coloring now, so maybe I get some more different colors.
Melissa Taylor, thank you so much. Again, the book is called A Runtamuffin Tale. I found it on Amazon, and you have a website, Runtavision, is that right?
Yes, runtavision.com, correct.
Runtavision.com. Okay, all one word. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you very much. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too. We'll be right back.
Okay.